Is this other Xerjoff from the V line unique enough to win me over? Let's find out. Hello, welcome back to Seldomly Often. I'm Daniel, today we're talking fragrances, and this is a practical review of Xerjoff Accento. These reviews are for fragrances I have a lot of experience with, multiple wears and many situations, and are generally meant to give you an idea of what it feels to wear the fragrance. As per usual, I do a lot of research prior to buying fragrances, but I don't like to go into detail about notes and accords. I just don't feel that it reflects much for the end user. If you watched my last review about Xerjoff Gold, you might have caught that I wasn't super enthusiastic about that fragrance, and I was just dubious about Xerjoff in general. Here today we have another one from the V line, or I think it's Velvet line. The newer Gold is also from the V line, but I think it's the first one that dropped this velvet finish thing here. Speaking of such, let's dive into the presentation. Xerjoff, as usually, is super top notch, I think. The presentation is really unmatched. The products feel incredibly luxurious, and just everything that goes into the purchasing and unboxing and first opening of fragrance is super unique, especially if you go to a Xerjoff boutique. Although still beautiful, the boxes for the V line, especially these older ones, do feel a little less luxurious than the usual leatherette coffin style. These are more in line of the old amouage, so they open from the top. One thing I really don't like about it is that these ones in velvet specifically, they're seated into this like thing that holds the fragrance in place. And you can see that my bottle has basically like a permanent fold, a permanent mark on the velvet. I can't seem to get it away. And I try with like a fine brush, I just try to let it sit outside, it's just there. And this is really underwhelming. I mean, like for such a fragrance, like how did Xerjoff overlook such a thing? And I bet that all of them from this line that have the same similar box have the exact same issue. And this is really like, it should have been considered, to be honest. Other than that, this bottle is beautiful. It's a nice soft touch. The color is amazing. It kind of gathers some hair and dust, so you have to wash and keep it clean. But it is really, really beautiful. The cap is the usual Xerjoff Ferro head. The sprayer is amazing, as usual for Xerjoff too. Let's give it a couple spritz. Yeah, nice and fine mist coming out of here, nice and potent. This is a 100 ml bottle. The Gold that I had was a 50 ml. The caps are not magnetic, but they really do click in place in a solid manner. The cap and the plaque are a little bit fingerprint prone, but overall really can't complain. The presentation is super top notch. It looks incredibly luxurious. It feels incredibly luxurious. This bottle is heavy, like a rock. It feels like a rock. It's amazing. I really like it. Why did I go with another V line? I'm not really sure, to be honest. It just so happened that I managed to trade my Gold for this. So I was like, all right, let's give it another try. I even been through Pura already, and I wasn't a fan. But looking at the notes, I kind of was having high hopes, and I thought this one could be the one. This one could be the one that like differentiates from that like obnoxious fruity blast that's, to be completely honest, a little bit simplistic. And it's not that. It's still a very simplistic scent. It's still part of the Velvet line. So I think that at this point I'm kind of giving up on the Velvet line. They're all, at least the ones I tried, and at this point I tried 3. They're all fairly mass appealing. They're not complex scents, and they might just not be for me personally. They're not low quality at all. All of them feel very high quality. This one is the one that I like the most between the ones I tried. Fits my taste a little bit more. So upon initial spray of this, you get this, according to the notes, you're supposed to get this like pineapple note, this pineapple fruitiness. But it doesn't really come out as strong. It's not like something like Hashivat or even Aventis. What you get is an opening which is very similar in style to Erba Pura, Erba Gold, but it's a lot less overly sweet and has more of a floral component to it. So it's just not just like throw all the fruits out there. It's more of again, it's really hard to pinpoint the fruits in here. It can't really identify the pineapple, but you can sort of see that at least it's funneled in a way where you're going for this a little bit more of a sour fruitiness that is clearly combined with some florals. The florals in here are very difficult to identify also. I'm not an expert in identifying notes, period, but in here all you can get is like white and purple flowers. So the purple flowers, I mean, I'm used to, I can pick up on some stuff. There are some flowers which are very clear to me, like jasmine, like iris, but the rest is just kind of like this floral, fruity bundle. And the fragrance is very unoffensive in opening. You can always spray the hell out of this and still get away with it. And this is a strike difference from like the Erba Golden, especially Erba Pura. Erba Pura you cannot overspray. This you can easily overspray. And again, it's super simple, it's really clean, and it's really mass appealing smelling. I actually like this scent. It's just a little simplistic. It doesn't really go anywhere. So again, you get this like fruity floral thing going on. It kind of like the bottle really reflects like the color that you get in your mind. And then it kind of goes towards the typical Xerjoff dry down, which the typical Xerjoff dry down of all the Xerjoffs I tried is pretty similar. It goes down to this like ambery vanilla thing. Specifically in this line, the Velvet line, they all go towards a muskiness, like a clean musk. It's not a funky musk at all. It's kind of this like furry, warm, clean, soapy muskiness. It's like this white musk. It's not unpleasant, absolutely not. This is actually really nice. I've worn this a lot. I've given it a lot of chances in many situations. I tried it in the gym. I tried it at work. I just tried it everywhere. Given the fact that it's 100 ml, I just sprayed it without sparing. And the projection and durability on this were also kind of not underwhelming per se, but they didn't really reflect what the common consensus is. The common consensus is that this fragrance is nuclear. That this is nuclear just as much as Erba Gold and Erba Pura, and that basically a couple sprays will fill a room. I don't get that. It is strong, it's a strong fragrance, but the initial spray, the initial blast that you get, that fruitiness, evaporates really quickly. And then, I think that it's more because of the nature of the scent. It's just kind of this like generic clean. It doesn't really create this like bubble around you that is incredibly identifiable. If you wear something like, I'm just throwing it out there, something maybe that has a very specific character. It can be a Mancera, it can be an Amouage, it can be whatever. As you move around, if the scent is strong enough, you keep getting these like wafts of that specific scent. This one here, due to its nature, due to the way it's constructed, due to the way it smells, it kind of blends into the background. So yes, you have this like smell good, smell clean bubble around you, but it's not like completely overpowering. And no one ever had a comment on this. No one even batted an eye. Usually I'm used to getting looks. If something is identifiable and something has a presence, I always get a look. I might not always get a comment, but I always get a look. And this one here, completely under the radar. Erba Gold really reminded me of a specific shampoo. This one does not remind me of a specific shampoo, but it still has like that shampoo vibe. I guess that's the reason why it blends in the background so easily. If you have like a pretty much like a supermarket shampoo, like nothing high end, it kind of will smell like this. This is a very predictable smell. Very hard to like put down in words. I really don't like the phrase well blended, but in this case, it's the scent is put together in such a way that it's really difficult to deconstruct. Overall, the longevity on this is good. You get like not crazy, but you get like a full day's wear, a full, let's say, work day's wear. It kind of fades down in a very subtle way. You don't really notice it being gone like some other stuff, because again, it has like this such an offensive scent that when it's gone, you just kind of like forget it's there. This for me is kind of like an old reliable. I've worn it enough that I've grown accustomed to it. I just pick it up if I want something quick. This is like, I don't like dumb reach scents because I don't have, to be honest, I just don't have space for dumb reach scents. I have so many fragrances that I just can't have like a signature scent that I grab and go because the other ones are too involved. I just want to rotate them all, sort of. I want to give them all a chance, and I feel like a specific vibe. And this one here is kind of like a neutral vibe. This is just like clean, friendly, fresh, uplifting. I'm making it sound bad, but it's actually really good. I do think that this is overpriced though. Not because it's low quality, but just because it's not spectacular. If I were to spend full retail on this and get it, other than the presentation, which I'm sort of used to, I would smell it and be like, oh, is this it? I need fragrances to give me a wow factor. There are some fragrances I own, like every time I wear like something like Beach Hut Man, I get euphoric. It's so strong, it's so wow. This one here is kind of like, yeah, it's good. I'm not upset at all. It's definitely beyond what I would consider a designer. I definitely like this more than something like, probably than any Parfums de Marly, really, because it has that Xerjoff DNA. Yeah, so overall, I mean, at discounted prices, I feel that this is pretty decent value. If nothing else, it will give you that wow factor when you open it up. No other brand comes close. I don't think even Amouage comes close to this like kind of like luxurious feeling. So props to Xerjoff for that. As per usual, feel free to leave any kind of comments or opinions or suggestions below. I read everything and I tend to reply to everything. And yeah, thanks again for the appreciation. Thanks again for your time, which is super important. And cheers.